Hello learners, I am Dr. Megha Pant, Assistant Professor, School of Humanities. Today we are starting a lecture series on short stories in English literature. We are excited to begin this series exploring the art and impact of short stories, and with me my colleague Mrs. Bhavna Moni, who will be joining us throughout this journey. This series is especially close to our hearts because the short story, though brief in form, often carries profound emotional resonance. In its compactness lies its power. A single moment, a fleeting thought can unfold into a universe of meaning. A short story is a concise narrative that typically revolves around a single incident or character, aiming to evoke a specific mood or insight. Unlike novels, which span hundreds of pages, short stories are designed to be read in one setting, offering a snapshot of life that is both intimate and powerful. There is something truly enchanting about short stories. They don't rely on length to leave an impact. In just a few pages, something even a few lines, they can evoke laughter, tears, introspection, and revelation. There are literary snapshots capturing the essence of life with striking clarity. A well crafted short story can illuminate a character's entire world through a glance, a gesture, or even a silence. It is like a photograph, small in size, yet capable to preserving the most intimate truths. As Lauren Moore once said, quote unquote, a short story is a love affair, a novel is a marriage, a short story is a photograph, a novel is a film. Exactly. Unlike novels, which unfold over hundreds of pages, short stories rely on economy of language. Every word matters. They often around a turning point or moment of revelation, and their endings, whether open or resolved, leave a lasting impression. As Edgar Allan Poe emphasized, quote unquote, a short story must have a single mood, and every sentence must build towards it. They are also incredibly diverse, ranging from realism to fantasy, satire to psychological drama, and because they are short, they are accessible. They invite readers to engage deeply, even in a single sitting. As Stephen King once put it, quote unquote, a short story is like a kiss in the dark from a stranger. We begin with Shirley Jackson in The Lottery. She exposes the dark undercurrents of societal norms, revealing how cruelty can be masked by tradition. Her short story challenges us to question the familiar and confront the uncomfortable. Next, we reflect on The Domestic Maid by Anita Desai, a subtle yet powerful portrayal of class invisibility and emotional labor through the quiet perseverance of a maid in an urban household. Desai reveals the unspoken hierarchies and emotional complexities that shape domestic life. Her prose is delicate, yet it cuts deep, reminding us how the smallest character often carry the heaviest burden. Then we turn to Gilman. Her groundbreaking short story, The Yellow Wallpaper, is more than fiction. It is a powerful feminist statement, a voice breaking through the silence of oppression. It reminds us that literature can be both deeply personal and radically transformative. Now, my colleague Bhavna will take you through the remaining authors and their powerful contribution to the short story tradition.
Thank you for that introduction, ma'am. Hello, everyone. I am Bhavna, and I am truly delighted to continue this literary journey with you. As we continue our exploration of the short story tradition, I will now turn to the remaining authors whose works not only enrich the genre but also challenge us to rethink its boundaries. Each of them, in their own way, has left a powerful imprint on literary history. Before we dive into the next set of authors, I'd like you to think about what makes a short story memorable for you. Is it the twist at the end, the vivid characters, or the emotions it stirs? Keep that in mind as we look at how these authors transformed the tradition with their powerful contributions. Before we dive deeper, let's take a moment to appreciate the genre's origins. The short story evolved from oral traditions, fables, and parables and was shaped by literary giants like Edgar Allan Poe, Anton Chekhov, and Mansfield. Today, it remains a powerful medium for exploring identity, social issues, and human psyche. As Neil Gaiman has beautifully said, short stories are tiny windows into other worlds and other minds and other dreams. We now explore the fearless short story of Mahashweta Devi, a passionate advocate for the marginalized. Her stories amplify the voices of the tribal, the impoverished, and the silenced. Through her words, storytelling becomes an act of resistance, a way to reclaim dignity and demand injustice. Next, we dive into the poignant narratives of Jhumpa Lahiri. Her stories navigate the emotional landscapes of immigrants, individuals suspended between two worlds, grappling with belonging and identity. Lahiri's prose speaks to anyone who has ever felt the ache of distance or the complexity of cultural duality. And finally, we travel to Australia with David Malouf, whose lyrical prose captures the interplay between memory, place, and identity. Malouf's fiction often returns to the landscapes of his homeland, not merely as backdrops but as living presences that shape the inner lives of his characters. His works remind us that geography is never neutral. It carries with it the weight of history, the echoes of colonial encounters, and the intimate imprints of personal longing. His characters inhabit landscapes that are both physical and emotional, spaces where history, longing, and love converge. His short stories, especially through those in Dream Stuff, Every Move You Make, the complete stories transform seemingly ordinary encounters, a child recalling war, a fleeting meeting between strangers, or the quiet rhythms of suburban life into profound reflections on belonging and desire. Malouf's landscape, whether bushland, coastal towns, or intimate domestic interiors, are never passive settings. They embody history, longing, and the emotional weight of human experience. What distinguishes Malouf is his ability to render the everyday luminous. A remembered childhood scene, a fragment of conversation, or the silence of the landscape becomes a meditation on identity and connection. Through his short fiction, Malouf demonstrates the power of the genre to hold entire worlds within a few pages, worlds where history and intimacy converge, and where the search for the self is inseparable from the places we inhabit. Together, these authors demonstrate that the short story is anything but small. It is a distilled universe where every word, every pause, every silence is deliberate and meaningful. Short stories are not just literary exercises, they are emotional experiences. They challenge us to see the extraordinary in the ordinary, to listen to the silences, and to find meaning in moments that might otherwise pass unnoticed. Whether they confront social injustice, explore identity, or capture fleeting human connections, short stories offer us windows into lives both familiar and foreign. As readers, we become travelers, moving across cultures, eras, and emotional landscapes in just a few pages. And as students of literature, we learn to appreciate the craftsmanship behind each word. So stay with us as we delve into these powerful, haunting, and deeply human narratives. By the end of this journey, we hope you'll see short stories not just as literary forms but as mirrors that reflect our shared experiences, struggles, and dreams. Thank you for joining us. We'll meet again in the next session.